Todd, lots of lessons along the way and all the things you tried to instill in this team that would allow them to get through a third period like they did tonight. What does it mean to you now that you just experienced all of it working?
Well, it takes that. It takes work. It takes lessons. It takes repetition and practice. It takes pain. It doesn't come easy. And for our team, we're watching them grow up right in front of us, which is a great thing. We've been through a push into the playoffs. We've been through a round now. We've learned how intense it is to close out a game. We've learned how to respond after a blowout. We've learned to manage ourselves throughout a series. We played in hostile environment. So that's great to this point. And that's just the first round. It gets tougher as it goes. So we're going to continue to learn lessons. But we'll relish this for now and back to the drawing board tomorrow.
Speaking of relish, what does it mean to you to beat the Sharks, your former team? You coached here for many years. You got this team to a level of success they haven't achieved.
It's not about Todd. It's not about Jay or Jimmy. It's about the Oilers and the group of players there that are growing up in front of us. We're part of this team now. I obviously have a soft spot for a lot of the players that are here in San Jose, and they gave us a hell of a series. They helped us grow up by pushing us, and we're lucky to get through, and that's an important thing for us.
Todd, can you talk about the first period that you got from the Nugent-Hopkins line? You kept going back to them, and it would just seem to be chance after chance each of their shifts.
They were good. There was a lot of talk in the series about us matching or trying to get Connor away from Vlasic and Braun, and obviously we don't want to talk about it during the series, but we had an eye on Nuge against Jumbo's line, especially since they put them together, and that was a match we were looking for. And you can't get everything. When you're a coach, the media experts find something and they keep going to it But the coaches have different plans sometimes. Peter had his plan, we had ours. And ours wasn't about getting Connor away from Vlasic and Braun. Ours was about getting Nuge on the ice against Pavelski and Jumbo and Patty Marleau. And for the most part, it worked in our favor.
Todd, what happened to
5, 7 minutes? What was that like, and how your group just kind of handled that late season?
Well, we were anxious. I'm not going to lie to you. There was anxious moments. There were mistakes. Too many men on the ice. You get a little overexcited. I haven't had a bench feel like that since we were in Detroit. I remember as an assistant coach, and we'd almost won the cup. And Pittsburgh came back and scored with like 30 seconds left. But the bench was excited. The coaching staff was too excited, too wound up. And they're lessons learned for us. We'll be better the next time we get in that situation. But the good thing is we came through it.
Todd, what happened to Clefbaum?
Clef was actually sick to the point where he couldn't play anymore. We had a number of guys in this series that were ill. And we're hoping that they all get better. I think Leon's a prime example. He didn't play a lot of minutes, and he was another one that was fighting the flu bug. So it's important for us to get healthy before we get to Anaheim.
Todd, what does it say about you guys to get through the series and get the only even strength point for McDavid comes in the empty netter right at the end and still be able to win?
Well, I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it as individuals and what can they accomplish in a series. I think about it as a group, and Connor's line made it taxing on their team. They had to change real quick. They had, I think Braun and Vlasic had 52 shifts in San Jose. That was an investment into Game 6. And it's not about winning the scoring title in the playoffs. Connor was tremendous. His line was excellent. They played with tenacity. They wore the other team down so the other lines could go out and create some offense. So I don't see it that way at all. I know there's a big story there, and everybody loves to write it about the leading scorer, and he's not scoring this or that. I just don't see it that way.
Can you refer to the fact that you mentioned it here, I think, the amount of possession time it seemed to
Well, we were very good to 2-0. I thought we were the better team. We were on our toes. And then we had, we had that defensive mode, the same thing that happened to them in our building. We kind of went to that a little bit. We got backed off and didn't forecheck as much. They were coming out of their zone clean. And that's human nature. You kind of go back into that protective mode, and it can cost you. And fortunately for us tonight, it didn't. And it worked in our favor in Game 5.
Todd, if you can, just, I know you're still processing this, but just a thought on Anaheim, obviously one of the hotter teams in the league to end the season, and your next opponent.
Well, the deeper you get, by the time we get into that series, there'll only be 8 teams left, 4 series. The details, the execution, they've obviously gone, I don't know what, they're 15-0-3 or something like that in their last 18 games, so confidence is certainly in their favor. They feel good about their game, they're rested. They're getting more preparation time than we are, but that's okay. We're, in my opinion, we're playing with house money, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. Thank you, Todd. Good night.